we want to thank you for having stopping by, probably because you are being attracted by the title of this video conference. So it's not always easy for people to spend their time giving their attention to something like this. That's why we want to start this video conference by extending our tongue to you. And as you realize, the title of this video conference is a universal government is preparing for a transition to take control and rule all the country of the earth. So before we get deep into the subject, I would like to announce you the different part of this video conference. And if you realize that it is something you can listen now, that should be great. But even though it's not something that you can listen now, you may please still come back later. The video will be posted for a while, and we hope that you will come back and find it again and again. But we wish that it should be now that you have time. So please, if you have a little bit of time, we beg you to give us your attention, because by doing so at the end you will realize that it was something that you really needed, and probably you will never regret, because we prepared this talk with you in view, and this is probably the turnkey of most people's life, and we wish each and everyone to be informed of this talk. So as I said, the first part of our talk will be a common illustration that will help us to know exactly why the universal government have been established but have not yet started his rulership. And in the second part, we are going to discover the failure of the most government that have subscribed for the popular sovereignty. And the third part of this talk, we will diagnose on the author of the popular sovereignty and the origin of the popular sovereignty. So as I said, these three parts are the various parts that's going to keep our attention for now. But for the next section, we will extend for other part. So for now, we don't want to be long because people like short video. And that's why we cut in so many sections. All right, as I said, for the first part, the common illustration that we found that was really fitting for this talk is the presidential election. Why do we choose the presidential elections? It's because most people are aware of what is happening during the presidential election. It is a vivid moment for each country and its citizen, because it is an opportunity for those citizens who have subscribed to the popular sovereignty to elect the candidate they view he might be the one to rule over the country during the next mandate. And as you may know, after the proclamation of the result, the new elected president is not the one starting right away ruling the country. Who rule the country is the one has been there always. So until the short period of time that has been given to a new elected president come to the end, the former president will be the one taking the decision on the country. But after the smooth transition that a new elected president receive a rulership, at that time point he can even sign some decision that is going to affect the country at the spot right now. And what we notice is most of the time, shortly after the new elected president have started his rulership, that's many people start contesting the way he's ruling the country. And among those people are also his supporters. So much we can ask ourselves, How is it possible that people who subscribe for the popular sovereignty, using their right as a voter, select the president today and the next day start contesting against the way the president or the new elected president is carrying his duty? Sometimes we might say they have reason because the new elected president is not following the agenda or the program, or he is not really carrying out his duty as it's supposed to be. But no matter how, what kind of reason people can raise in order to ask for the departure or the impeachment of the president cannot be the only one to be blamed. Part of the blame should be shifted to those who cast the vote and elect the president, because the president have not come to that position for his own. So if he's the one to be blamed, the greatest part of the blame would be shifted to those who elected him. Now, if the biggest blame is to be shifted to those who elected him, we realize that those are the people that we are going to focus our attention and see what exactly did not work, what is under the table. Today we will have an opportunity to know all that fact, and the knowledge of this will help you to know exactly what to do when it comes to such activity. So this takes us to the second part of our talk. We are going to diagnose on the failure of the government, the majority of the government that have subscribed for the popular sovereignty. So as we said, if the biggest blame is shifted to those elected, the president, we are really interested to know who are there. They are voter, and generally the voter are the citizen of the country. As such, being part of the sovereign element, an individual can decide to choose a candidate to represent him during his rulership. But since we said that those citizens are people who subscribe for this popular sovereignty, the diagnosis is a form of research that helps to find out the answer of each problem, and one of the suitable answer can also raise another question. So that's where it takes us to know what is the popular sovereignty that the majority or the citizen or the voter have subscribed. So now, in the simple form, or in the simple way, we can say that the popular sovereignty is a civil contract between the government and the citizen. So here, it presents the citizen as the ultimate source of the authority of the government, and at the other hand, the government agree to be at the benefit of their citizen. So when does that concept come out? We make some search and we discover that this was a compromise, a US compromise that had been invoked in the year 1850 and later on implemented in Nebraska-Kansas Act in the year 1854. And from there on, many states of the country of the United States have subscribed for that concept. Michigan, so many other countries, California, and that's the root of the popular sovereignty. As the world power, many other countries around the world really wanted to follow the step of the world power, and they too subscribe for the popular sovereignty, and that have turned in our day the democracy. So now the question we might raise is, does this popular sovereignty prove to be what it claimed to be in their explanation? Let's take for example when the citizen or the population, knowing that they are the ultimate source of the authority of their government, raise a problem or request for a change or the adjustment of the government for their benefit or for their well-being, how often does the government react? In many other countries that popular sovereignty is not really uh, respected, the answer to the population is not always satis- does not always bring a real satisfaction. And even up to some country that claim to respect the popular sovereignty and the democracy, the answer of the expectation of the population concerning their request is not always respected at 100%. And now, if the popular sovereignty claimed to be a civil contract between the citizen and the government, it therefore means that that contract doesn't work because it's not respected. And this takes us to understand that the popular sovereignty has proved to be very fake. And that's the reason why at the end of the mandate, the population and the citizen try to change the candidate that was not able to maybe to pay attention to their claim, and on they change the president over and over after the end of the mandate. This situation has lasted, and we understand that if so many countries of the world subscribe for this popular sovereignty and that the fact prove that it is fake, we are in the good reason to ask ourselves, who possible could sell the fake sovereignty to the entire world, almost the entire world, because the world power is involved. Many other world is involved. African country, European country, Asia country. Some of them they are involved. The popular sovereignty, but who successfully sold that concept that bring this confusion between government and the citizen, bring conflict because in other country some people who are making their requests organize the march find themselves at the jail, and some even lost their life. So who possible could sell this concept to the entire world? And that's why our next search we have to a search, but we visited most of the book of all higher university of the world, even high school. We were unable to find a suitable answer, but only one of the most ancient book of the human history could be able to bring a satisfying answer to our search that we would like to share with you. It is true. You will be very shocked to realize what we discover. But that's why we ask you to be very strong, because it is just like you discover your scammer. Most of the time, how often do you react when you realize that somebody scam you and you know the person? You come to discover the person. Will you allow him free? Will you be in the good condition with him? Or will you just make as if there's nothing, everything is okay, we can continue living as we were living before? In most cases, people will not allow him free. Most of the time, I myself have been victim of a scammer. People that went to my bank account, withdraw money without my point of view. Right away, without sleep, without overnight, without spending the night, I make sure that I discover where the money has gone and how to fix it very quickly. So that should be the reaction of any man who has a concern for his welfare. So today, this research is going to be very shocking, and it will help you to discover somebody who scam not only your money but something greater than your money, your freedom, jeopardize your life, your joys, your happiness. He scam. We are going to expose him today because he's the one that has been the author promoting a popular sovereignty, and that popular sovereignty have proved to be very fake around the world. So here, as we said, we will reveal everything to you. But as from now, we would like to take a break and come back so that we can continue our talk. Yeah, I just wanted to limit this talk at 15-16 minutes so that it should not be a burden for you. So please subscribe, and so much so that when the next video come out to help you identify the real scammer of the human history, that you should be aware of who he is and how you are going to treat him in the next time. Thank you so much.